Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to a special super premium jumbo gold episode of No Longer Is It the Road to WrestleMania, it is the post-WrestleMania show. I guess we're going to have to come up with a new name.
It'll just be the normal show.
The normal? WrestleMania 29 is in the books, folks, and, going into this show, we had very low expectations. And at the end of the night, I gotta say, I was thoroughly entertained and surprised by the quality of wrestling that we got.
Yes. Give me this microphone. Yes, very good. You and I were both expecting, well, not bad things, but, just the build-up was sort of weak, and, we didn't think it was going to be that great of a show, but we were very impressed with it overall.
No matter what, no matter how weak the build-up, they could go 6 weeks between Elimination Chamber and WrestleMania, not announce a single match, and not talk about it for a second, and I would still have a thought in the back of my mind that it's going to be an entertaining show. Because there's been a few rare occasions where WrestleMania has just been a shit show, but honestly, 99% of the time, it's WrestleMania. Regardless of the build-up or the matches, they're going to put out a good product.
No question. And they definitely did. So we are going to discuss the top 3 matches in order, the last 3 matches of the night. We're going to ignore stuff at the beginning because, who cares about that stuff. So let's start things off with CM Punk versus The Undertaker. What are your thoughts on this match?
Amazing mat wrestling match here. The thing is, of the 3 main event matches, and I'm probably going to get a lot of criticism for this comment that I'm about to make, just because of the level of predictability, it was probably the least entertaining match for me of the big 3. Not because it wasn't an amazing match. It was an amazing wrestling match. But the Undertaker streak will never end, period. Ever. Ever end. And I think that's, in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking, you know what? No, obviously Undertaker's going to kick out of this 5th GTS or whatever it was, No question, it was an amazing matchup. A lot of good back and forth action. A ton of cool spots, actually, where the one cool one was where CM Punk was perched on the top rope. Undertaker was out on the Spanish announce table outside the ring. And CM Punk did an elbow drop onto the Undertaker outside. Not sure if the table was supposed to break there or not. It did not break. Looked very painful.
Looked like he broke his shin or something.
Yeah, but a lot of good mat wrestling in this matchup. Compare it to... I'm going to compare it to Undertaker's past few years' WrestleMania matches. Compared to Triple H Undertaker Hell in a Cell, I'd say it was a better match than that. Although that match was incredibly entertaining, especially, due to the end of the era storyline and a really good moment where Undertaker was walking out with Shawn Michaels and Triple H. I think it was probably better than Undertaker's past few years' WrestleMania matches. And that's just because, CM Punk and The Undertaker are both good workers, and they really complement each other's skills in the ring.
Yeah. Obviously the wrestling was really good, and that's what we expected. But, I said this before, I'll say it again. I don't know how much longer they're going to do this with The Undertaker because, like you said, no matter who goes in to face The Undertaker, they're going to lose. And I don't want to see, we keep seeing CM Punk lose, and I don't want to see CM Punk lose. I like CM Punk, I also like The Undertaker, but I really think last year should have been the end, 20-0. They even said end of an era, but obviously that didn't matter. It doesn't matter to them, and I don't know how much longer they can keep doing this.
There's potentially, in my mind, 3 more opponents Undertaker could face at WrestleMania. The Rock.
Which are?
The Rock, Brock Lesnar, and John Cena.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar leaves a lot. More than The Rock. I mean, we didn't even see him on Raw. We're probably never going to see him again. Discuss WrestleMania. Right? Because that's what he does. He'll come back being the, big Brock Lesnar, as Paul Heyman says, Brock Lesnar. So intimidating.
The next big thing.
Yeah, and then he'll lose the big match, and then never come back not never come back. Won't come back for a couple months. Come back and wrestle. Lose again. Rinse, repeat.
I think that's actually the problem. If they had booked Undertaker Lesnar for this year, I would have probably had, at least a tiny doubt in my mind that Undertaker would have a big challenge to face in Brock Lesnar. But now that he's lost to Cena and Triple H. Lesnar doesn't really seem too big of a threat to the Undertaker's streak. The Rock, obviously, that of those three guys that I said, Rock, Cena, Lesnar, I think The Rock is probably the most, on paper, the most exciting matchup there. But, you know, Cena is the guy of this generation, and I'm surprised they've actually waited so long to not had this Cena Undertaker WrestleMania match yet, because, you know, it's the guy, or well, at least one of the guys from the last generation. Cena's beaten everybody there is to beat, except for the Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Well, yeah, we could see that in the future, but I mean, obviously with The Rock, that's we've had to see Cena and The Rock transitioning now into, as what we were talking before, Brock Lesnar losing to Triple H at WrestleMania. And as I was saying, Brock Lesnar keeps losing. Why does he keep losing?
Okay, here's the thing. He's in there against the company man, Triple H. Triple H calling a lot of the shots, and if it was on another show like SummerSlam when they had their first meeting, Lesnar won that. And when it's on WrestleMania, you know, a lot of the big names are going to win. They're going to walk out with the victory. They all did, pretty much, right, except for The Rock. But he did pull out in that one against.
They still made him look good because apparently he got injured, which is just complete bullshit.
But if there is one thing that both Triple H and Brock Lesnar excel at, because I didn't love their first meeting at SummerSlam, it's no-holds-barred matches. It's street fights. If you've seen a Triple H street fight before, you've basically seen that Lesnar-H match from WrestleMania. You know, a lot of weapons, a lot of brawling, yeah. And then
Sledgehammer use guaranteed.
Yeah, exactly. Sledgehammer guaranteed in every Triple H street fight. It was a good match. I found myself comparing it to the John Cena-Lesnar Extreme Rules match last year at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view.
Yeah, very similar to that.
Yeah, but considering the unexpected bloodshed in that match, that was probably...
Stop the match.
Yeah, that was probably better than this one. But like I said, Triple H picks up the win here, and very entertaining match. Wasn't sure which way it would go. You know, maybe leaning a little bit towards Triple H going in with my prediction, but very entertaining, hardcore match nonetheless.
I really liked how dominant Brock Lesnar was in this match, and not that he isn't dominant in other matches, but you know, it seemed like he was really controlling. You know, he'd take Triple H outside of the ring and threw the beat down on him and whatever, but then he ended up losing, and I just really didn't like that finish. But it was a great match nonetheless. WrestleMania always delivers. And leading to that, the main event of the evening, John Cena versus The Rock, Part 2. Twice in a lifetime.
Once in a lifetime has magically become twice in 2 years.
And 3 times because you're going to have it next year, maybe.
Apparently, says Booker. But you know, who the fuck?
Oh, Booker. Yeah.
Does Booker T even have authority anymore?
No.
No. But
GM of SmackDown is equivalent to like GM of CZW.
Oh wow, love that. Anyway, Rock Cena 2. Going into this, I thought Cena couldn't lose that match 2 years in a row. It would just look so bad for him. But then again, Rock comes in. He's a huge draw. He's, you know, making millions of dollars to make
Primetime players. What up?
Yeah, to just make a few appearances for the company. And, you know, obviously he has a lot of creative control, The Rock, you know? Like, he's a huge draw for them. He has really what's gotten mainstream fans back into wrestling at this point, right?
Well, it's The Rock, basically, he has so much, I feel like he has so much power. Everything's done on his terms, his way. So I really didn't see Cena winning this, to be honest. I thought Rock would win 2 years in a row. It doesn't matter. It's not going to hurt Cena. He can't. His character can never be hurt at this point.
And I found myself cheering for John Cena in this match because I just don't think The Rock should be WWE champion. We've touched on this before. Your champion should be there every single week. You don't have to wrestle every week. You know, fuck. You even have to be there via satellite every week. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah,
you can't just not be there if you're the company's champion. And it's not like, you know, UFC or something where you're only there every few months. Like wrestling is there, you're there every week, you know?
Yeah, we're looking at it as wrestling fans. WWE is looking at it as mainstream, what's going to be popular with the general media outside of the wrestling world.
Which, from a business aspect, I understand. That's what WrestleMania is about. And I think that's what we'll talk about in our next video a little bit, actually, is how, you know, WrestleMania was really for the mainstream fans, and the Raw we got last night was more for the wrestling fans. You know, they said, hey, we haven't forgotten about you.
Well, yeah, I mean, it helped by the crowd, but we'll talk about that in the second part of this video. Anyways, let's actually talk about this match, because this match was really, really good. Yeah. Much better than last year's, I thought.
Started out very slowly. And
expected.
That's the thing. people think that, oh, when the match starts off with headlocks and rest holds like that, it's a bad thing and it's going to be a terrible match. You know what? Like, you have to slowly build momentum. That's what makes it so exciting in the end. If they come out, you know, in the early going, just like doing finishers off each other left and right, when you get to those closing moments of the match, what is there left to do?
Well,
right?
You have to build momentum. But I think some of the complaints people are having is not just with these guys starting with holds and headlocks or whatever. It's that they start with circling in the ring and getting chants going and doing the taunts and whatever. It's like, okay, come on, let's get the wrestling going. But this match last night was very good, very entertaining. Lots of near falls and just in general really good match. Much better than last year, I thought.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if it was due to time constraints or not, but neither man had a flashy entrance.
Which I really liked, actually. Yeah.
It felt like this year's
Felt like a wrestling match.
Was more about the wrestling rather than the mainstream media attention. You know what I mean? And a flurry of near falls. And last year, I kind of knew The Rock was going to win going in, right? And this year, I had no idea, and I wanted Cena to win. But I think that's what made it so exciting for me in comparison to Undertaker Punk, where I knew who was going to win 100%. Was that the unpredictability of this match really made it a classic in my books, and I was on the edge of my seat, you know, doing John Cena's taunts, standing up on the couch and shit, you know, like I'll probably never do that again in my life, but it was moments I'll never forget.
I never thought I'd see the day where you'd be cheering for Cena to win.
The champ is here, brother.
I guess so. Literally, he has this new shirt too.
Yeah, it's a sweet shirt, huh?
So those are our thoughts on WrestleMania. Now we will be transitioning over to the Raw following WrestleMania, which was incredible.
Amazing.
So excited.
We got a lot to say about that.
So stay tuned for that, and we'll be right back in 1 second. Thanks for watching. Okay, part 2. We are back again.
I wish they could see us right now because we're doing the Fandango dance.
Us? Well, just you. Okay.
Hey,
that was, if you watched last night's Monday Night Raw, not in Baltimore as it says there.
That was not. You can't actually choose the city, can you?
You should.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
That'd be sweet, but not every time.
Make it in Nicaragua every time.
Yeah, or like Omaha.
Anyways, last night's Raw following WrestleMania was incredible for so many reasons, and not just because of the wrestling, but because of the crowd. Yeah. Last night's crowd was probably
real.
One of the best crowds I've ever seen, maybe the greatest of all time. I don't even care if you're saying I'm exaggerating. No, screw you. That was so awesome. I wish I was there.
Yeah, it was definitely one of the greatest crowds in wrestling history. One of the most involved crowds, and it's such it hurts me when I'm watching Raw or SmackDown, and they do you can see the crowd in the background in the light, and they're quiet as hell, and they just do a shot of them, and they're all just sitting with their hands on their heads, just looking bored as fuck. Like, fuck you. You know what? If I was there, I would be on my feet the entire time. You know, why do you even buy tickets to this show if you don't like it? You know, it just looks like they're really bored. And like, live wrestling is one of the best things ever, even a Raw or SmackDown. You know?
Yeah, I mean, just you'll have the people there just sitting around like, oh, come on, where's Cena? Where's Orton? Oh, my favorite. Yeah, like, shut up and watch the rest of the wrestling.
That's not what it's about.
Last night's crowd showed what wrestling crowd should be. If you ever go to a live event and you did not watch this episode of Raw, watch this episode of Raw and be just like them. Do chant the Fandango song, do the little dance, and just chant JBL and Michael Cole and Mike Chioda. So good.
Chioda.
So good. So good. That was so much fun to watch. I wish I was there.
And I think part of the reason why is because they had so many fans from different countries in for WrestleMania, and most people who are there do finish off the weekend with Monday Night Raw, which often takes place in the same city, in this case right across the parking lot, which is where the other arena is in comparison to MetLife Stadium. And you had a lot, foreign fans are known for being the most rowdy, the most involved. They used to call Canada Bizarro Land. The King still does.
King said, wait, what is this, Canada? That was like, yes, thank you.
Yeah, brother. That's what we're like. You know, but we still haven't had like a televised show since like 2000. Actually,
they're advertising on the Canadian networks. If you're not Canadian, they're advertising Raw for Calgary last night.
Yeah, we should go.
Yeah,
You wanna go?
well, it's pretty far from Toronto to
How long
Calgary.
does it take to drive there?
Like a really long time. I don't know, probably like non-stop, probably like 24 hours.
Fuck.
It's far.
We'll figure it out. We'll get there.
We'll get there.
We'll do a live.
Because they're never going to come back to Toronto. I don't know why. Just house shows.
But
Here's Rico.
aside from the amazing crowd, last night's Raw was a tribute to us true wrestling fans who kind of had to, give up a little bit of our pride in exchange for the mainstream media attention for WrestleMania. WrestleMania is about getting that mainstream media attention, getting some people who haven't watched wrestling in a while, some of the other media outlets to get involved with professional wrestling. It's good. It attracts new people. I get it. If you have one event like that every year, it's fine. It's understandable. And, the WWE gave us a little treat last night with Raw saying, hey, we didn't forget about you guys. And a bunch of cool surprises and things I did not expect from Monday Night Raw last night. And I think it all started with the new World Heavyweight Champion, no longer is he Mr. Money in the Bank, I guess I should say.
Mr. World Heavyweight Champion.
Mr. World Champion, Dolph Ziggler. And, wow, I cannot tell you how happy I am. I'm sure you must be. You hate Del Rio to the extreme.
I hate Del Rio with a passion. He's so boring. I'm so happy to see Ziggler win the championship. And the crowd last night was going absolutely insane when he finally got that pin. They let Del Rio kick out a couple times, which was just stupid. But yeah, I'm so happy. But at the same time, they're going to give Del Rio a rematch, so I still have to put up with him for another month at least.
Yeah, that's true. I expect maybe a three-way between Swagger, Del Rio, and Ziggler at Extreme Rules of some sort.
I'd like to see Ziggler-Swagger feud because, their history with Vicky.
But then they're going to turn Ziggler face. I guess, the whole We the People American thing hasn't seemed to get over with the crowd as a heel either, so maybe they'll turn Swagger face. Who knows?
You know what? I don't think they necessarily have to turn Ziggler face because he could be like the CM Punk type of heel where he's heel but still so many people liked him. Do you remember that? He was supposed to be heel but people
but that
people
did
still
eventually turn him into
yeah,
face.
but it doesn't have to. Like they can let it ride for a bit, just have him still be heel and people still like him.
Yeah.
And then just after having a feud with a face and then he can just go back to being a heel. I think they could do that.
The New York, New Jersey crowd loves Ziggler. I remember last year.
They love all the heels. It's so awesome.
True wrestling fans just like us. But wow, as Mark Henry goes for that very botched move there. Yeah, I was saying the New York, New Jersey crowd loves Dolph Ziggler. I remember back at No Way Out 2012, which was in the same arena as they did Raw last night, in the opening bout between Sheamus and Dolph Ziggler for the World Heavyweight title, the crowd was chanting, "Let's go Ziggler," and the King, in an attempt to cover it up, says, "Wow, listen to these fans saying, 'Let's go Sheamus.'"
No,
they
King,
were clearly not saying, "Let's go Sheamus," but, King had to cover up that they were cheering for the heel in that one.
Yeah, so that was the first amazing thing that happened on Raw.
Yeah.
Then you had, which I loved, Mark Henry got a shot against Cena. Well, I did love it at first because it was going to be for the title. But then Booker came out like, no.
Booker ruined everything.
Well, I'm the SmackDown GM, but I control Raw now.
Yeah,
and,
what the hell? Seriously.
So it was just a regular match, non-title. That was a very good match, though.
Give the GM spot to Brad Maddox.
Yeah, I love Brad Maddox, man.
Hey, man, Brad Maddox and Vicky, my favorite.
Ricky.
What?
Bricky.
Who's Bricky? Oh,
Brad Maddox and Vicky. What are you talking about? Oh, get out of here, man.
Come on. Or Ved.
Ved. No.
Yeah, but anyway. Jack Swagger has lost all momentum coming out of WrestleMania, and that was probably one of the biggest disappointments. Probably the only disappointment on Raw last night was that he lost to Del Rio again, right? But it was only setting up for the Ziggler cash-in. So.
And the finish of the Cena Henry match was disappointing. Count it. I was just like, oh my god, really? I didn't think they were serious. But then they had Ryback come out, which was awesome. We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah, we saw a really interesting return. Basically to a post-WrestleMania appearance, which was The Undertaker. Usually after WrestleMania, he's gone, and you don't hear from him for another 11 months, you know what I'm saying? And I really fucking hope that this was hinting a six-man tag team match at some point. The Shield came out to attack The Undertaker, and then who were there to save his ass? Team Hell No, his brother of destruction, Kane, who also tried to bury him alive.
His pet goats.
That I know. Brian doesn't really seem at home with those two guys, does he? But that's the thing. It was a huge surprise to see Undertaker come out first of all, and another surprise to see the Shield trying to attack him, and yet another surprise to see Team Hell No come out and be there to help the Undertaker potentially fight off the Shield. And the Shield did eventually back off. They didn't have the numbers game, the numbers advantage. So.
I love the Shield. When I heard their music, when Undertaker, I was expecting to hear CM Punk's music.
Yeah.
Interrupt, and then I heard it was the Shield. I was like, oh, thank you. Yes, this is so awesome.
Yeah.
And so I'm really looking forward to that if they do that. But then if they do that, so are they not going to have Punk face the Undertaker again?
No, I definitely do think Undertaker Punk is a one-time thing for now, at least.
No rematch or nothing. No, they're not going to address that at all. You don't think? Because Punk wasn't even on the show.
No, but Punk will return next week, and I'm sure he will address the loss to The Undertaker. But it definitely does look like they're teasing a potential six-man match, whether that takes place at Extreme Rules or at a bigger event down the road somewhere. Who knows? But
that'd be awesome.
I think they do have to, continue their momentum with Extreme Rules like they did last year. They had Lesnar face, Lesnar comes back the night after WrestleMania to face Cena at Extreme Rules. And I think they got to, go the same route this year.
Very similar thing to last year, as you just mentioned. Lesnar returning last year, the Raw after Mania, to F5 Cena. This year, the night after Mania on Raw, we saw Ryback come out and shell shock Cena.
Yeah,
what the hell was that about?
What was that all about, my friend? And, Ryback has been made to look weak. Actually, a reader on one of my articles online actually commented that Ryback hasn't won a pay-per-view match since last July. And I didn't even notice that. But
I noticed that. It's kind of, he's due for a win.
Hell in a Cell, lost to Punk. Survivor Series, lost to Cena and Punk. TLC, lost to Six-Man. Rumble, didn't win. Elimination Chamber got
to Cena.
Yeah, Elimination Chamber got pinned. Mania got pinned.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
This is why I love this move. If this is a Ryback heel turn, we weren't really sure because the crowd last night loved it and were cheering and chanting "Feed me more" as he shell shocked Cena. But Ryback, I think he's such a dominant force, and you can't have a guy like that as a face.
Yeah, and they already kind of fucked up his streak. Yeah. And I think now, similarly to the Big Show, where the Big Show angle where, he's like, oh, you know what, I'm done pandering to the fans. Now I'm going to be the real monster that, I am. I think that's the way that's the route they're going to go with Ryback, and that they're going to have him become an unstoppable force. And I don't know if this is leading up to a triple threat Extreme Rules between Cena, Ryback, and Henry, or if it's just going to be Cena, Ryback. But regardless, I loved Ryback as a face. Of course, I'm going to love him even more as a heel. And what a way to kick off the post-WrestleMania season last night on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, the thing about guys like Ryback is he doesn't even need to do any talking.
No.
He's such a dominant
in the first place.
Yeah, I guess. He just shell shocks guys and does the Feed Me More chant. That's all he has to do, and people respect that. Yeah. So, anyways, thank you for watching.
What? You know what? What a couple days of wrestling.
Great couple days.
Considering I wasn't really all that excited. Last week's video was like, oh, wow, I don't even feel like WrestleMania is this weekend. Like, there's been no build-up. And now Sunday and Monday had two amazing nights of pro wrestling. WWE is back on track to once again delivering an amazing, unpredictable wrestling product. And honestly, I can't wait for SmackDown this Friday.
Well, yeah, SmackDown always delivers, not really. Anyways.
Stars come out, it don't matter. We were born to run.
And on that note, thank you for watching. We will see you next week.
See ya.
This has been Mason and Sam. Da da
da da da da da da da da da da da da da